excellence continues on ESPN. The 1984 Los Angeles Olympic Games and the match between the United States of America and Canada in men's basketball.
ESPN's coverage of the Los Angeles Olympics continues. Preliminary round men's basketball action from the Los Angeles Forum, the United States and Canada. Along with Digger Phelps, I'm Bob Lee. Both teams coming in following their first game. Your starting lineups, Fleming and Robertson of the U.S. backcourt, Ewing the center, Perkins and Jordan up front, Pasquale, Triano, Wilcher, Sims, and Kazanowski, the Canadian starting lineup. USA defeating China in game number 1, and a very close loss for the Canadian side against Spain.
As we get ready for this preliminary round, this is game 2 for the USA. They got on to play Uruguay, and then they have France and Spain as they complete the 5 games for the first week of competition.
Head coach Bob Knight had to be satisfied. Of course, he's never 100% satisfied with the effort against the Chinese, 97-49. Patrick Ewing will jump center against Greg Wilcher.
Of course, the Chinese, their first Olympics, so it's more of an experiment for them. They have a long way to go yet. They need clinics in that country. They need an exchange program, and obviously their coaches, I think, should come over here and learn some things about the way the game's played.
Ewing and Wilcher to jump it. And Vern Fleming, number 7, has it.
Vern Fleming, very interesting guard for the USA. Really makes things happen on the fast break, always around the ball, and he and Robertson right now are the backcourt as Canada opens surprisingly playing man-to-man.
Pat Ewing, double team, has it tapped away, kept alive, and ripped down by Robertson and a jump ball.
Well, what you saw Triano do there is go double-team Ewing and cause a turnover, which led to a foul by Sims, and that surprised me. Now, here's where Canada's really good. On the mix-up, when they, on a side out-of-bounds play, they may go zone. They're going to play man-to-man. I'm still looking for some zone. Canada played very, very well in the preliminary tournament up in Toronto against Yugoslavia, who they beat twice, and lost to Italy, beat Australia. And as you see right here, Pasquale takes the lead on a break.
Eli Pasquale, the point guard. This is Tony Sims. Perkins, and now Fleming has it for the USA.
Sims from Boston University, a very erratic player. If he gets hot, he could be a factor, as well as Triano for the Canadians.
Perkins takes it from Robertson, and that patented soft hook by Sam Perkins.
One thing about Sam Perkins, he will not get the publicity or the excitement that Michael Jordan, or as you take a look at Patrick Ewing, but he is the one guy that is the force that makes things happen for the American team, the silent player who comes up with the first pass, first basket, first rebound, and that's why he is starting for this team.
Preliminary round competition. This is game 2. 5 scheduled preliminary round games for the U.S.
U.S. playing a lot of man-to-man defense. That's all they will do. Very good touch play inside.
Kazanowski from Wilcher.
Yes. When you see that happen, it's because of the help defense to the ball, which the U.S. does. There's a trap defense on scores. This is where Canada's good. This could be a factor. Now they're back into playing man.
Jordan, Perkins, basket.
They just were patient enough against the trap press. Looked like Canada on a score was going to go to the first trap and then dropping them back into man-to-man. And the U.S. just was patient enough to penetrate and get the shot to Perkins.
Wilcher dumped it down low, and we had a foul whistle. That's against Vern Fleming, his first. Team's first. Jack Donahue with a lot of experience under the belt. Power Memorial High School in New York City. Holy Cross.
Probably would like to have that center he had at Power Memorial.
Yeah.
Playing right now for him. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar from the Lakers.
Lou Alcindor in his days at Power Memorial. Pasquale got in a little bit of trouble. Wilcher's got it, and Sims takes a bang from behind from Michael Jordan. 2 quick fouls on the U.S. team. And again, the limit on our international rules, we shoot the bonus fouls on the 9th team foul per half.
And that's a 2-shot foul. There's no 1-on-1 in international basketball. Interesting, U.S. will play nothing but aggressive man-to-man pressure defense. Now, here's another international rule. A turnover situation, you don't have to take the ball out of bounds. Get it in quick without and set up the score. Sims needs to turn on right now for Canada. Now they're back into his zone.
Perkins flashing high for it. Number 7 is Vern Fleming out of Georgia.
He's still man.
And Jordan shoots over. Wilcher in a tangle with Fleming. Wilcher played 3-foot of ball at Oregon State.
Ralph Miller, surprisingly. I think he's a very, very talented player. What I would like to see is probably Wennington and Wilcher playing together and get Mahar into the game. Mahar played very, very well in the World University Games, which Canada won last summer against the United States up in Edmonton.
Jordan ducks off the jump ball.
He's unbelievable when he gets it going. The crowd loves him. So does the bench.
14 points against the Chinese in only 16 minutes of action.
They'll put a lot of pressure on the passing lanes, as you see right there. Even Ewing denying Wilcher the ball on the pass.
Wilcher a little tentative about taking it right down the gut. Backs it out now. Pasquale watched by Fleming. Triano forcing it. Sims with a rebound. Gets past Perkins and a foul on the baseline against the U.S. Perkins is first and 3 on the team.
Well, what's going to be interesting, I don't know if this is the reason or not, but if you bring in Wennington and you bring in Mahar, the U.S. can bring in Tisdale as well as Chris Mullen. And that could be why they're not both out there right now, because maybe Jack Donahue feels that the strength of the U.S. is their bench, and if he can contain both Mahar and Wennington, then he can neutralize the substitution, which I think is going to be a big factor, because the U.S. can probably go 9 deep down there when they're looking at that bench and have the same type of people coming in to replace the other people.
Tony Sims' first point of the afternoon. He fouled out of the first game against Spain.
Didn't play well against Spain, Bob. I thought, he would do a better job of taking control of the game. He did that up in Canada. He's an explosive player, a transition player, and along with Triano, gives them a running attack. But the key to me is going to be rebounding. And if the Canadians can neutralize the U.S. strength on the boards, then they're going to be in this ballgame.
Shooting fouls are 3 to make 2, and Sims gets 3 chances and makes 2 of them. U.S. leads at 6-4.
We're seeing his own press on made foul shots. And he'll almost steal.
Jordan has to shuttle it ahead quickly to Perkins.
Very patient. Very patient.
Patrick Ewing watched by Wilcher. Jordan hangs in midair.
Well, the key is when he catches that ball, he takes that one quick, long step and just gets you off balance. And then as you try to recover, he picks up his dribble and balances and shoots that jump shot, which is tough to defend against. See the fake trap by Alford Robertson here, just hedging towards the ball and recovering to his man. The U.S. does this very, very well.
Little reach in by Sam Perkins from behind, and Sam picks up his second foul. That's 4 on the team now.
The U.S. will definitely play nothing but man-to-man defense. A lot to Bobby Knight's teaching, the way he likes the pressure on the ball, pressure on the lanes, and yet doing a good job on the defensive rebounding situations to start the fast break.
Pasquale shot pulled down by Jordan. U.S. looking to run. Canada gets back quickly.
Now they're in the zone. 2-3 zone. U.S. will probably set up 3, play pool out. Fleming on the point, Robertson and Jordan on the wings. Look for a sub with Chris Mullen. We need some zone shooters for the U.S.
Robertson kicks it to Perkins with 8 on the 30-second shot clock, and Fleming up and over Wilcher.
Just drove the gap. It was open and didn't recover. He read it well, and he can do that. He can score at the top of the circle.
6-point USA lead.
The double team. Pressure.
Sims nearly tied up. Number 6, Eli Pasquale. Off his foot. Ewing can't get it. Wilcher has it. And now a reach in, a holding call against Ewing. And Ewing's first foul, and 5 quick team fouls on the USA. We're only 4 minutes and 32 seconds deep into this game.
Well, you've got international officials, and most of the international teams do not put much ball pressure in man-to-man defense on the ball. The U.S. team is doing it. The officials really aren't used to seeing that type of pressure defense. You're going to see a lot of reach-in fouls or contact fouls on the ball.
Jay Triano from the corner. Tipped out, and Robertson runs a 3-on-1 for the USA. Look out, Michael Jordan.
That's one of his dunks, one of the great dunks, and he loves to do that. And, of course, Jack Donahue's upset. He thought Triano got fouled, but Jordan just took it in there.
That's waved off. They called the offensive foul on Alford Robertson, and no basket for Michael Jordan. Along with Digger Phelps, I'm Bob Lee. The USA in white, Canada in the red. No basket on that last play before we left you. Jordan's basket waved off. Robertson called for the offensive foul. The USA with that 3-and-1 opportunity. Fleming pivots ahead, and he's grabbed from behind. Foul is on Pasquale. Eli's first.
Well, what I don't understand is why isn't that an intentional foul? When a player's on a breakaway in a fast break situation, international basketball, they can't call an intentional foul, which is an automatic 2 shots. But instead, it's just going to be a common foul, which will add up to the 8 before you get to the bonus where you do shoot 2.
Under the international rules, that wider foul lane that fans out to over 19 feet wide on the baseline. The shot clock. More physical play, and Jordan to Ewing. Short, followed up and tapped yet again. It still won't drop, and now it goes.
That is legal. Once the ball hits the iron, you can touch that ball under any situation. There is no such thing as goaltending once it hits the iron. You can swat it away or swat it in. International rule.
Robertson got that, so goaltending is not permitted, but the interference is, and there's Wilcher pulled down by Jordan. It's right past Triano. Perkins, soft hook, won't drop. Knocked out by Kazanowski, U.S. ball.
U.S. ball underneath, and in international basketball, you do not take it out of bounds underneath. You take it out on the side.
Kazanowski had 16 points for the Canadian side against the Spanish. Canada takes its first time out in this first half, and the USA in their second outing looking very, very confident. Jack Donahue came into this tournament believing that his Canadian side had a chance to beat the U.S. After all, the Canadians did defeat a U.S. squad, not this U.S. squad, at the World University Games last year in Edmonton.
Well, surprisingly, you haven't seen Weddington yet or Mahar, and I think both of those players, knowing that they've played against a lot of this competition, especially Chris Mullen and Patrick Ewing as an example, knowing that they can do the things that they have to do, they've got to become factors before this game is over. Now, the 2-3 zone that you're seeing, I feel a 3-2 zone is a lot better versus a 2-3 because the wide angle, the base of that line, as you can see, the green extending out, that's like having a third man back there. So you don't really need a 2-3 zone. A 3-2 zone, I think, is better to play in international basketball.
Fleming to Jordan, and Michael continues.
When he throws the fist in the air, you know he's in a groove, and he's just in that groove where he can make things happen outside, inside, around the boards.
Jordan, who invents moves as he goes along offensively in ball games. Kazanowski, there's Sims up against Ewing, intimidated. That ball just drops out. Last touch by Patrick.
He's complaining about foul. But what you've seen Canada do the last 2 sequences, the U.S. team is playing a lot of pressure on the passing lane, so they're running what we call a backdoor situation. They'll fake coming out and go backdoor, and you've seen the last 2 passes go inside on backdoor movements, but I don't think you can live with that. I think the U.S. team will just adjust to that situation also.
14-4, the U.S. over Canada. And Sims banks it home.
Well, he likes to penetrate. That's his game if he can do that. But the zone press again by Canada. Let's see if they trap out of it. Yes, they're trying to fake the trap, which, again, goes back into his zone.
And Jordan shoots right over it. They kick it ahead to Michael, and he's got 8 points.
That gets discouraging. He is that good. Look at this.
13 and a half minutes now of this first half.
Well, what's going to happen is Pasquale's going to wear down. He just can't take that type of pressure for the entire game, and he's the only point guard they really have. Triano's not a good ball-handling guard, even though he's a good scoring guard. And as you see here, another turnover.
Robertson, after it was tipped by Perkins, Alvin Robertson just dropped the ball behind him, recovers it, and scores it, a foul.
Goal will be good, and a charge on Michael Jordan.
Robertson recovering his own miscue.
Yes.
Pivoted in, just maybe wanted to go behind the back. He just forgot about the basketball.
That's the second charge in that situation, where before in the fast break he didn't give it up. This time he took the shot and scored, but it's still a charge situation. Defensive player was there.
So Canada's got possession back. The U.S. has that 12-point lead, and Sims blocked down by Perkins and tapped out by Ewing. Going to score that?
Why?
That's the question being asked on the baseline right now.
No, I've never seen that happen before in basketball.
Well, the trail official seemed to indicate.
That's a block right there. That's a clean block. And when the ball hit the floor and bounced up, and that's when Ewing went after it, and the official thinks, that's right, that's the call. The outside official was going to call 2 points goaltending. The underneath official made the right call, and that call was a jump ball.
Chris Mullen comes on. Jordan takes a seat. So that block with such force that the official actually believed that the rebound off the floor was a shot. That's the kind of defense that Perkins and Ewing can give you. Wilcher will jump it against Patrick Ewing. Robertson took an elbow from Sims as he fell down.
Now, this is going to be an interesting call right here.
White ball. You hear the indication?
It's a knockout foul.
Right by our microphone. You get a good idea what they're talking about. We've had several moments of indecision over the last 10, 15 seconds off the game clock. What would that block and an out-of-bounds call and a jump ball?
Well, even Jack Donahue and his assistant, Steve Kachowski, are trying to decide what's going on as far as the officiating.
Perkins gets Wilcher up off his feet. This is Robertson.
Against the zone now, looks for Chris Mullen to break open.
Mullen on the right side of your screen, number 13, but there's Vern Fleming.
He's steady. Indianapolis Pacers. Indianapolis is going to like him because Indiana Pacers are looking for something as a spark, and he is a spark.
Has it back from Chris Mullen. Not enough steam on it. Ozanowski pulls it down. And a little reach into the backcourt against Fleming, who picks up his second.
What's interesting is that pressure defense, Canada's having problems getting the ball up to half court, and that's where Fleming's at his best. And he just does an outstanding job of reading and knowing where the ball is and making things happen defensively. And there's a foul charge to him.
2 on Vern. A lot of expectations for the USA team, Dicker, but also a lot of questions about the strength of the other nations arriving as Wood and Tisdale come on and Fleming and Perkins sit down, and concerned that the USA may not have been properly prepared entering this Olympic tournament. Well, they breezed against China, and that was maybe not a fair test.
Well, the interesting matchups is obviously Canada, and of course the end of the week when they play France and Spain are supposed to be the teams from Europe that are going to be a challenge for the gold medal.
USA with this comfortable early lead. There goes Mullen over the zone, his first basket. Bob Knight with some words on the bench with the USA on top 22-6, 11:46 to play.
But the Canadians got to come up with a game plan defensively. If they're going to be in one situation, which they are right now, foul shooting, they go to a trap press, back into a zone, mix the zone up, play a point zone a little bit, go to the trap zone, 1-2, 1.5 court. You've got to mix your defenses against the U.S. You just can't allow them to get in the rhythm offensively, or they're just going to bury you.
Eli Pasquale with a couple of free throws. Along with Digger Phelps, I'm Bob Lee. ESPN's coverage of the Los Angeles Olympics, the second game for the U.S. men's basketball team. Robertson will go. Sims for Canada has the rebound.
Well, we got Wennington in the game. It's going to be interesting to see if they give him the ball inside, because he'll go against anybody in this USA team.
Big Bill Wennington, number 12 in the red from St. John's, as that foul is called on John Koncak, who has come on for the USA, number 11.
Early substitute over Wayman Tisdale. A lot of people thought Tisdale would be the first frontline sub coming in, but Koncak's in here, and another year at SMU. He's, I think, an exciting player. That's another dimension on this team. Tony Sims played his basketball at Boston University and was with the Knicks in '83 with a tryout, 4th-round draft pick.
Tony, a native of Jamaica, currently resides in Toronto, and the two head coaches. This is the second outing for both sides. We've got the 2 groups of 6 teams, and the top 4 from each group after the first round robin will then move on to the second phase of competition.
Of course, you got Tisdale in now with Koncak, and when you take a look at Wilcher with Wennington, if they go to inside games, it should be to Canada's advantage right now because of that experience.
A rough day for Sims at the line.
Especially when you get 3 to make 2.
Pasquale, Jay Triano. Little reverse move. Gets right past Wayman Tisdale.
I think Tisdale got a piece of that and helped it go in.
It's 22-10. Triano had 19 in the very close loss against Spain.
Surprisingly, Canada's still man-to-man defense. You can't do that against the U.S.
Tisdale. Koncak lost the rebound, grabbed right back. There's Tisdale, no doubt about it.
And that's where the U.S. pounds you. They just get to the glass very, very well on the missed shot, and they're just going to be that aggressive, and Tisdale's that good on the offensive board situations.
24-10, the USA on top as we've got 10 minutes and 45 seconds to play. Rebound. Taken right back by Wennington as he grabbed the loose ball. This is Triano, who played every minute of that game against Spain the other day. Gets a step on Robertson. Tisdale helps defensively.
Triano's a good offensive player.
Sims coming down the middle, fills the lane, and commits the offensive foul.
Triano, of course, had a trial with the Lakers, did not make it in the NBA, and very, very successful player in Canada. Is a good outside shooter, scores a lot of points for them. Still have not seen Mahar from Duke come in yet for Canada. Mahar played very, very well in Edmonton and has not seen any action.
Kick block against Triano.
What he's looking for is the creation off the dribble. Drive a gap against the zone, then look to kick it off. But on the penetration against man-to-man, you still look to create and kick the ball off.
Robertson to Tisdale. Baseline, and it's in.
Robinson, real good move inside.
Alvin Robertson, that is his 6th point, 26 to 10.
And we'll see Steve Alford come in the game. Probably for Robertson.
Sims makes his move. Wilcher couldn't get it. Pasquale diving for the ball along with Sims and Tisdale. And Sims commits his 3rd foul in a very short time.
Well, he's got to make a move to get him out of the game because they need him. Here comes the player I think that's going to be an impact player for the Canadians, Mahar, who really does a lot of positives inside, outside, as well as play good, solid defense and strong on the boards. And that's what the Canadians need right now.
So Alford comes on for Robertson, and for Canada, Danny Mahar out of Duke replaces Tony Sims. And a little whistle away from the ball, a little pushing and shoving. Jay Triano, the culprit.
It's going to be interesting to see what Leon Wood does. He's coming into this program as a player who was strictly an offensive player. He's been, I think, in a position during the trials as well as camp to become the point guard, to run the team, make things happen, be an assist-type player, and yet improve defensively, and don't worry about the shots unless you have them.
Leon Wood shot won't go. The tip. Concac's got it. We'll get a fresh 30 on the shot clock and bring it outside. Steve Alford. Leon Wood from Cal State Fullerton, number 5. Concac has a nice touch from the outside and a rebounding call. It's Danny Mahar whistles for that one.
He's banging on the boards against Wayman Tisdale, who in the 8th grade could dunk the ball. Was 6'6" as a freshman in high school. So Tisdale, he's a solid player. He's got a couple more years at Oklahoma.
16 fouls on Canada. We will shoot the bonus free throws on the 9th in either half. Mullen shooting while he was moving. Wilcher's got it. Pasquale watched by Leon Wood. Jay Triano. Concac, and oh, by the way, block. Wilcher's got rather Wennington with the rebound, and he cans it.
He can play. I like the way he plays. He's done well. He had a head injury up in Canada, though, and he could be a little hesitant about his game, and this could be one of the reasons why he hasn't been getting that much playing time. But as the week goes along, the doctors say he should be stronger, so look for him to be a factor for the Canadians as they go for a medal.
Well, Tisdale scrapping to get that rebound after he missed the turnaround shot and forcing the jump ball.
George Raveling, one of the assistants from the University of Iowa, along with Mickey Donaher of Dayton, and C.M. Newton, the team manager from Vanderbilt.
Drake Wilcher from British Columbia.
Played at Oregon State a little bit, huh? Ralph Miller?
Ralph's been around a few times. Pasquale off the drive. Canada draws to within 12 points.
What's going to be interesting to see the number of West German players who have played college basketball in the United States as we get them into Olympic competition. Chris Mullen, you can't leave him open.
Second basket for the St. John's senior-to-be. Less than 8 minutes now in this first half, 28-14.
They found Chris Mullen in the gym on Christmas Eve shooting baskets.
There goes Steve Alford off the steal, length of the floor.
Is that a gym rat when you're in the gym Christmas Eve?
I would think so. And Alford, another one who practices all those free throws constantly.
Over 200 a day when he has the time.
16-point bulge for the U.S. This their second outing and perhaps a stern early test, but it hasn't proven to be so far. Leon Wood pulls it down. USA leading it by 16. Alford from the corner, a whistle before the shot. USA leads it 30-14. Leon Wood called for the offensive foul, so As we approach the 7-minute mark, Canada trying to make it respectable and make a drive here. They were expecting better things than what they've shown so far. Jay Triano. Mahar.
Raymond Disney.
Pasquale, he has it back in a fresh 30 yet again, and Pasquale from the corner.
Good outside shooter, loose ball, and he just picked it up, threw it in. 14. They need to change the defense, though. They just can't keep playing man-to-man against the U.S. and think because of the motion offense, as you see here, the screens, the way they move without the ball, the way they move with the ball. This is where the U.S. is at its best against the man-to-man.
Wilcher taps it away from Tisdale. USA has defeated China. Their next match against Uruguay, then France, and then Spain. Canada's next match will be against the Chinese, and they have Uruguay and France. The top 4 teams from each of the 2 groups advance to the quarterfinals. Steve Alford. Mullen. Alford. Basket.
That's his spot. That's where he beat North Carolina in the regional and back in Atlanta in the NCAA tournament. And if he gets hot in that corner and his outside shooting turns on, Steve Alford's going to be a factor on this Olympic team. Mr. Basketball in Indiana.
Where that means a whole heck of a lot in that state.
What's interesting about the state of Indiana, every team plays the state championship. And they start that thing off, and they just go right at it. And you could see a team, as we saw a few years ago, with Scott Skiles and Michigan State from Plymouth, or this past year, a team from Warsaw, Indiana, won the state championship.
Call it Hoosier Hysteria.
Hoosier Hysteria, and you'll see towns like down in Washington, the population, I think, in Washington, Indiana, is right around 10,000 people, and the gym's around 10,000 people.
Back in Martinsville, which is south of Indianapolis and north of Bloomington, which is John Wooden's hometown, they built a gym back in the 1920s that actually seated more than the population of the city of the little town of Martinsville, which has now grown up a great deal.
They just love it. And of course, they go right to the Market Square where they have the championship, and both the girls and boys championship, they sell them out. They pack them in.
Howard Kelsey, number 4, has come on for Canada as Leon Wood to Mullen, who is stationary and lots of time. Can't can that one. And the rebound by contact. He's fouled.
Well, Wilcher's upset with that foul, but
Winnington actually, I believe, was called for it.
What happens here? The penetration, when the guards start to drive and penetrate, whether if it's Alford or Robertson or Fleming or Wood, the weak side area is open, and when you see Chris Mullen fade to the corner, as you saw Steve Alford fade to the corner, that shot is there, plus the offensive rebound is there, and that's where Contact got a piece of the ball.
3 shots to make 2. Winnington charged with a foul. We've got 5 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in this first half. Winnington played about half the game against the Spanish side at 8 points. Only 1 rebound, though, in those 21 minutes. And again, double the score, 34-17.
Well, the U.S. is dictating the tempo now with their defense, and that's what, when they control the boards off a missed shot.
Triano.
Right there. They run.
Alford's got an opportunity, 3-on-1, shooting ducks in a barrel, basically, and Alford drives in and is charged with the offensive foul as Kelsey stood his ground and drew the foul.
And that's why Bobby's upset, because they had a number situation. They had a 3-on-1. He had to make it a touch play, or if he gives the ball right now to Robinson, Robinson gives it right back, and he's got the layup. And once he made that commitment, he committed the offensive foul because the defense was there.
Alford's first. Kazanowski comes back on for Canada for Mahar.
He still wants to talk to him because what he's looking for is perfection down the road. I think that's very important. When you make that mistake and you create the lane on the fast break, it got too tight on the 3-on-1 where he kept the ball, and what he wants is to spread it out and make the 3-on-1 a controlled fast break for a touch play and a 3-point play.
Kelsey hits 1 of 2. Gotta wonder how much, once the final selection was made and Alford was on it, how much some of the other guys were quizzing Alford about the secret to understanding Coach Knight.
Well, that's interesting. Of course, during the trials, a lot of people wondered why Steve made it. He earned it, and that was very important. And I'll say this, I know if I was in a situation I would want a quarterback with me that knows how to run my system, and that's what Steve Alford is for Coach Knight. And I think the 20 coaches who were a part of the selection committee in Bloomington during the trials, that's what they felt. If you're going, take somebody, one of your own with you to know your system. And I think Steve has earned that right to be on this team.
Shooting over contact, pick, and hitting.
That
He heard you. He
backs up what everybody thought he could do. He's a great shooter.
18-point lead. Kelsey, number 4. Pasquale on the bench. He's running the side. He's a 27-year-old point guard.
See, another thing about Alford, at the end of the ball game, if you've got to go to a foul situation, he's an excellent foul shooter. Shoots around 90%. And when you got that opportunity at the end of the game, you could either score the 2 points by taking the 2 foul shots, or the other option in international rules is take the ball out of bounds. So with an Alford in the game, that's another plus for a tight ball game.
Kazanowski at the other end hit his second basket. There's Alford again. Has his rebound. Wood places him on the left wing, and Steve drives from there. Contact. Tisdale. Great ball movement. No basket, though.
Got away with 3 seconds, too. They were in that lane a long time, Tisdale. They call it quick 3 in international.
Kelsey. Around the pick from Wennington. Kelsey. Wilcher with a hook. And it doesn't drop. The foul is on contact. That is 2 on John.
Number 11, John Contact of the United States.
3 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in this first half. USA leading at 36-20. Michael Jordan will be coming back on, and Jeff Turner out of Vanderbilt about to make his first appearance in this game. And Contact and Mullen will be taking a seat as Bob Knight makes a couple of changes with a 16-point lead.
Replacing number 11, John. 6 quality. Replacing number 4, Howard Kelsey.
Canada on the line. Less than 4 minutes in this first half. Greg Wilcher. With a 2-shot opportunity. Yep.
3 to make 2. This is in play.
A couple of bricks tossed up there. USA firmly in command of this game with a meeting with Uruguay, then France, and then Spain to quickly summarize what awaits the U.S. team with the balance of the first round as Michael Jordan is short and put right on through by Wayman Tisdale.
That's awesome. That is unbelievable. He just read that. That's timing. When you see that ball coming off, you can slam it that way. That's beautiful done. And the crowd loves that.
You understand why maybe Antonio Diaz-Miguel, the Spanish coach, talks in terms of the U.S. being a half a century ahead of the rest of the world in basketball. Jordan in the open court, which can be a thing of beauty.
Super save by Steve Alford. The ball going out of bounds underneath. Surprised Canada playing man-to-man, and they're not doing a good job boxing out.
Jordan slipping and losing possession. Pasquale.
Alford took that charge. There's nothing made. But I tell you, in international basketball, they don't call many fouls after you shoot it, even on that type of a situation.
It was Kazanowski with the dunk. Another whistle outside. More of a collision as Alford went down yet again.
That's 2 blows back-to-back. Jack Donahue looking on.
Kazanowski, and, well, he and Alford had just tangled at the other end of the floor. They come back to the U.S. basket, and Kazanowski picks up his first and the 18th foul on Canada with 2.5 minutes now in this first half. Number 10, John Hatch, replaces Greg Wilcher for the Canadian side. Hatch didn't see any action in the loss against Spain.
Very unusual for Steve Alford to miss a foul shot. 90% shooter, practices all the time, every day, over 200 in that foul line.
Shot 3 for 5 from the floor against the Chinese side, but didn't go to the line. He's 1 for 2 in that exchange. He's got 5 points. Tisdale with a steal. Alford now. And he'll wait for some help. We approach the 2-minute mark of this first half. Jordan.
Beautiful screen. Came off from the weak side. Man got picked off. Caught the ball open.
Must be a happy Eagle with a 41-23 advantage. Hatch, number 10. Kazanowski, baby hook.
This is the tempo Canada wants. They're in their transition game, even though U.S. has got the control of it. But from that standpoint, it's the boards. It's the strength there, and it's also look at that screen by Turner.
He's setting a pick with a vengeance, and he tries to follow his own miss and has it ripped down by Wennington. And Turner commits the foul, trying to get back yet a third time to chase that ball.
He set a real good upscreen to get Alford open, and of course that wasn't called. As you see it right there, he just ran off his man. Pasquale, and it's a touch plays back from Alford to Turner. Loose ball, Wennington gets it. He's tripped by Turner, and they have to call a foul.
1:34 in this first half. Tillman and Wilcher come back on for Canada. Jay Triano and John Hatch take a seat.
In international basketball, this is a two-shot foul. There's no one-on-one.
Bill Wennington.
Well, foul shooting's hurting the Canadians, and they need every point they can get if they want to stay in this game.
He was 4 for 4 against the Spanish.
And Wilcher just missed 2.
Now 1 of 2 in that occasion. 41-26. 90 seconds in this first half. Look out for Michael Jordan. No, not that time. Tisdale taps it to keep it alive. Kazanowski pulls it down.
Jordan just gives you that dip fake, and it gets you off balance, and he just has enough time to get open as well as put the ball on the floor if he doesn't want to shoot the jumper.
It's a palpable sense of expectation when he handles the ball on offense. You can feel it go through the gym. Tillman.
Poor outside shooting, no offensive rebounding. Canadians have problems.
Alford, he had Jordan on the opposite wing, but U.S. will take their time now in the final minute of this first half. Looking very impressive against the Canadian side, having blown out the Chinese, and now perhaps about to do the same to the Canadians. Jordan. Well, at that time, Turner tries to keep it alive, double teamed, and fouled by Tillman. That'll put Jeff Turner on the line for 2 shots.
Turner out of Vanderbilt, very, very interesting player in the camp. A lot of people said, well, why is he on the team? He's a role player, and I think when they put this team together, they're looking to get a balance of your so-called superstars as well as guys that are going to be in a role-playing concept to help out. He passes the ball very well, rebounds well, plays good defense. And when you take a look at Turner, he fits into that mold as a team player. Of course, he's going to be with the New Jersey Nets, maybe Jets, in the NBA.
Played half the game against China and may not see as much playing time in this game. The lineup was a matter of flux and change through the last exhibition games as Bob Knight's team played against NBA players, and really there's so much talent out there, you're not going to stick with just one lineup.
I think he's looking for an identity for this team as Wennington takes it to the hole, and what you're seeing with the U.S. right now is a combination of players, and they're still searching for a team identity, and that identity, once it's established, then I think you'll see certain players with less time and other players just coming off to play the role of bench player concept.
Jordan having some shooting problems as we close out the first half. Pasquale's attempt well short at the buzzer. Well, in this first half, USA expected to be given a bit of a game, and on top by 15. Bob Knight not looking all that pleased. He'll have some adjustments perhaps to make at halftime, and we'll be back. USA leads it by 15 points. Neither team over 50% from the floor. And the rebounds, though, a decided edge digger, 24-14 for the USA.
Well, that's where the U.S. is at its strength when they pound you on the boards, coming in with Tisdale off the bench as well as this guy right here, Patrick Ewing.
USA in the white, Canada in the red. Second game for both nations. Along with Digger Phelps, I'm Bob Lee. The second half just underway. On ESPN, Jay Triano. Jordan blocks it. Triano perseveres, taps it, and Perkins pulls it down.
That's frustration when that happens.
Jordan had 10 points offensively to lead the U.S. In fact, was game high in the first half with those 10 points.
Of course, right now, Canadians have got to make a move. They're in striking distance. It depends what they do in the first couple of possessions to start this half, and then how they change their defenses.
Canadians open with a loss to Spain. Could ill afford to lose another one this early. Greg Wilcher. The tap won't go. Jordan. Alvin Robertson. And Vern Fleming. They're the guards. Ewing the center.
Well, they're playing man-to-man defense again. You'd think with the clock, which is in your favor, you'd play some zone and try to break up the rhythm of the U.S. team. They're dictating them the way they want to move with the ball or without the ball, as you see right here.
Jordan gets Sims off his feet and shoots right over him.
And he's coming off the screen. He just took his rhythm, went to his motion inside. Now, the Canadians, on the other hand, they're forcing the ball too much inside, trying to score inside. You've got to get it inside and kick it back out to the weak side for the jump shot.
USA by 17 points. Pasquale. Eli Pasquale is short. And a rebounding foul. That's Patrick Ewing called for his third personal. That's the first on the team.
That's interesting. Having 3 with him, and of course Sims has 3 from the Canadians, and that's a factor where they need him in this game with his offensive potential.
More depth, you would imagine, on the American bench than the Canadian bench.
And that's where teams will get in trouble as we go through the Olympics. It's who you bring in and who we take out. And if you can't match to the strength of the American team, well, then you're going to have problems because that's when the gaps will open up as far as scoring. Triano.
Kazanowski. Greg Wilcher forces it up against Ewing. Ball control as Fleming pulls it down.
But the Canadians are running a motion-type offense, which the U.S. goes against in practice every day. And so this is just like playing in practice for the U.S. You're facing the same offense, the same defense. And from that standpoint, there's not really a challenge right now as far as strategy from the Canadians.
Pasquale to Wilcher. And taken away out of his hands by Robertson. Knocked out of bounds. Nice defensive play.
The help from the defense, the hands. Very, very good. Robinson right there. On the ball. Now, have to take it out. Jump ball situation.
Kazanowski blocked by Perkins. Ewing pulls it away. Wilcher gets a hand in there, but Robertson recovers.
Smart patience.
USA biding its time, taking as much off that 30-second shot clock as they feel comfortable with. Huge American lead. 45-28. There goes Vern Fleming. Sims and Kazanowski gets the rebound.
Well, it's not that the Canadians haven't had opportunities. They're just getting the ball inside the 3-second lane, and you can't force those shots. You've got to hit some jumpers, then go inside.
Sims recovers. Kazanowski, and he's hit from the side by Robertson, who made that good defensive play a couple of moments ago. This time he's charged with the foul.
Well, what happens in that situation when you go to help to the ball on a missed shot, the offensive player, as we see right here, Sims takes it up. Kazanowski has position now because Robinson went over to help, as did Perkins go over to help, and you get the foul situation when you come back.
3 on Robertson, 2 on the team.
Pasquale, of course, is the main ball handler for the Canadians. And they look to get Triano the ball so he can go one-on-one, or Sims who can go one-on-one. And then their next move is to go inside.
15 on the shot clock. There's Tony Sims. Tony's got 4 points.
But again, just playing half-court man-to-man. Very, very surprising. No zone. And when you put the U.S. in a pattern where they can run that rhythm offense, they'll just pick you apart and then pound the boards.
Wilcher watches Ewing. There's Jordan. 14 for Michael Jordan.
17-point lead. Strategy has to change. You've got to do something right here. Change your defense, change your personnel. But if you're going to lose, you can lose by 2 or lose by 42. What difference does it make? But go for it.
Pasquale kicks it ahead to Wilcher. There's Sims from the left wing over Perkins. Kazanowski gets his rebound and cans it with a foul. Robertson commits his 4th personal foul.
Well, when you help to the ball, as we said earlier, the foul situation's got to be there. As you see right now, Kazanowski goes up, gets his own rebound, goes back up, gets fouled on the way in. It's a three-point play.
Wayman Tisdale is back on. Patrick Ewing will get a blow. Steve Alford comes on as well for the USA, and Robertson, who just committed his fourth foul, will take a seat on the pines. Very calm attitude at the forum. There's Alford coming on. Almost a blasé attitude towards the U.S. team from the fans in Los Angeles. So much is expected of this team, and right now with a 15-point lead on Canada, having defeated China by 48 points the first time out.
And of course, Spain coming off, the Canadians coming off that 1-point loss to Spain. People just kind of expect that the U.S. will blow Canada out. And when you get a halftime lead with a big bulge, the fans lose their enthusiasm unless we get some dunks going in the second half. Now they change their defense. They're going to a 2-3 zone. Let's see how the Americans respond to this.
Well, Fleming is studying it, number 7. Michael Jordan. There's Alford. You hear the warning for 3 seconds from our baseline official as Perkins from the corner.
Well, that's from knowing each other. Of course, Jordan made the move to the baseline. Perkins pulled out from the low post to the corner and hits the baseline jump shot on a pass assist from Michael Jordan.
15 minutes and 30 seconds of the game. USA leads it by 16 points, 49-33. Jay Triano. Get out of there, says Sam Perkins. Kazanowski. Perkins got a piece of it. Tisdale can't control it. Kazanowski. And Triano lays it in.
That's a loose ball situation. And when you see the help to the ball and the block shot situations, 2 of those shots were blocked and eventually got the loose ball for a score. Again, the 2-3 zone.
Fleming at the point. Perkins on one wing. Over the head of Alford.
And go on this. You don't have to have the official touch the ball. Just grab it and go. Yet the U.S. team got back pretty quick on defense.
Pasquale trying to fend off the hands of Vern Fleming. There's Sims in heavy traffic, and the tip is in by Wilcher.
Penetration by Sims led to the offensive tip in by Wilcher. No block out by the USA.
And very suddenly it's down to 12 points, and Canada within striking distance. Now the fans get into this one. Jordan. And Perkins. Well, Michael might have been thinking shot, and as he rotated around in midair, decided to pass it to Sam.
Well, what's interesting is when he gets in the air, the players really don't go to the hole. They just wait for him to do something with the ball. And one of the things he can do is pass it off to you, which he did to Sam Perkins right there.
Pasquale makes his drive from the right-hand side. And Michael Jordan called for a second foul. That's 14 fouls on the USA. 14 minutes, 3 seconds in this game.
Steve Penchowski talking to Jack Donahue, the assistant coach from New York City also.
Here's Sims.
Yeah, Sims will do that. He gets in a position where he gets erratic and gets inconsistent. You've got to get a few touches against the U.S. You just can't take one pass, have somebody go one-on-one and try to beat the U.S. You can't work it that way.
Michael Jordan, no pass this time, and Wilcher finally kicks it ahead, and Pasquale has it. 51-37, USA back on top by 14 points. They led at the intermission by 15.
And it was a sloppy first half.
Triano gets past Jordan. It's back down to 12. Triano had 19 points against the Spanish side. Alford over that zone. Bingo.
He can shoot it very, very well. 2-3 zone, just working for the perimeter shot, getting position for offensive rebounds. Steve Alford, excellent outside shooter.
53-39. Kazanowski to Wilcher. Canada looking to stay close, but ripped down by Alford amongst the tall trees. The 6'1" guard goes up there tangling with Tony Sims. USA on top by 14 points. Another look at that scuffle with Alford skying for the rebound. He and Sims banging. It's going to be a jump ball. Along with Digger Phelps, I'm Bob Lee. Canada and the U.S. each in their second game Alford giving away a couple of inches to Sims, and Wilcher pulls it down. Jay Triano over Alford, who hits him after the shot, and a foul.
Triano's a good open shooter. He just got set, made the motion, and then after the shot, Alford fouled him.
2 fouls on Alford, 5 on the team. Oh, the basket will go down.
Be interesting to see if the Canadians go to a full court press on a made foul shot right now.
That foul was after the basket.
And in that situation, it's just a common foul, which adds up to the 8. And there is no three-point play in that situation.
So it's back to 12. 53-41. Vern Fleming from Georgia. Nice dump pass by Alford to the acrobatic Michael Jordan.
This is so quick on that big step. It's a quick, big step, and he just turns and post-ups and shoots it over.
Just when the Canadians looked like they might be poised for a run, Jordan gets the basket. Wilcher. Triano over the pick. Tisdale. Big rebound. Jordan tries to go baseline, and collision with Sims on the offensive foul on Michael. And that is 3 on Jordan and 6 on the team.
He caught the ball quickly. Watch. Just makes the move to go. Sims gets good position. Got him on the shoulder.
Under 12 minutes now in this game. And still potentially could be a close affair, but the USA leading by 15 at the intermission. Now up by 13. There's Wilcher wide open.
That makes it interesting. Here's a defensive sequence right here.
Defensive pressure is on Canada to perform here. They're down by 12. The USA has been really running matters its own way in this game, and the crowd now gets back into it yet again.
Man-to-man by the Canadians.
7 on the shot clock. Vern Fleming with 5 on the shot clock. Perkins with 2 on the shot clock. Suddenly realizes it and makes it.
That's all you have to do. You look around, nobody's there, just throw it down to him.
Especially when the 30-second buzzer about to go off. So a big hoop for Sam Perkins, and the USA back on top by 14. Kazanowski touch pass too much on it for Wilcher.
You can't afford a turnover. Again, they're looking because of the passing lane being overplayed. Fake that you're going out, look to cut to the basket, and expect a quick pass, which turned into a turnover for the Canadians.
Leon Wood getting ready to report on for the USA. Jordan, that spinning move over Sims.
He's unreal. Excellent move. Excellent player. He's going to be a great one in the NBA.
16-point lead for the USA. Kazanowski gets past Perkins, dumps it for Wilcher.
Well, you see what happens when the baseline drive situation occurs. The weak side guard didn't rotate down. That's why Wilcher was open. They did a good job of helping to the ball. Coach Knight likes to teach that baseline rotation defense, force the ball baseline, but help out from the weak side, and there wasn't any. 2-3 zone by the Canadians.
We approach the halfway point of the second half. Six on the shot clock once again. Canada in that zone. It's pesky. Jordan makes his move, and nothing whistled, so it's kicked ahead. This is Sims on the break. Slapped from behind and knocked out of bounds by Jordan.
He just comes through, gets the ball knocked away at one end, hustles back on defense, reads Sim going to the inside, and just strips the ball as he comes down the lane. Here's a lead pass. Here comes Jordan to the outside with the outside hand. No foul if you miss. So it's a gamble situation. He gets the ball. If he missed the ball, he still wouldn't have fouled. That's excellent defense right there on recovery.
Probably wouldn't get much argument that Jordan is the singular, definitive individual player in this Olympic tournament.
Well, I think that's obvious by the way the crowd responds to him. He's got that type of charisma and does it by action, not by words.
Leon Wood has come on for the U.S. Vern Fleming takes a seat, and Mahar is back on for the U.S. Sims is out of the game.
Well, when you see Wilcher coming inside, good offensive player. Wennington, of course, got hurt in New York during their training period at St. John's, fell on his head, went into convulsions. It was very serious, so it's been touch and go, and they're bringing him along slowly. And they need his size and strength inside. And if he gets the playing time now, he'd probably get more playing time as the Olympics goes down the road. And being game 2, I think Jack Donahue's just waiting to get Wennington involved more. Wilcher, of course, struggling on the foul line, yet I think a very, very talented player, along with Mahar, could be an interesting matchup.
Gets one of those 3. He's 4 for 8 in the first game, so important points he did not pick up. 13 points, that's the differential. 9.5 minutes, that's the time of the game. Perkins has it knocked out. Last touch by Sam. He lost the well-advertised handle on the ball.
What you have is Leon Wood running the offense on the point with Jordan and Alford on the shooting wings. And, of course, Perkins can pull to the corner or go inside. And with that concept, doesn't matter if you have Tisdale or Ewing underneath. It's a very powerful offensive team against the zone.
Wood, number 5 on defense, watching Pasquale. Tipped away, stolen by Tisdale. This is Wood.
Smart play. Didn't have the fast break and sets it up against the zone.
Alford.
Well, what the Canadians are doing, the confusion you see right now is on those scores they're playing man-to-man, and scores they're playing a 2-3 zone.
Michael Jordan.
But it doesn't matter with him, does it?
No, it doesn't.
He can score as many as he wants.
16 for Michael. 61-46, back to 15 points. That was the halftime differential. Out of the hands of Pasquale. Another Canadian turnover can be put immediately back into play, but now we've got a whistle as the U.S. tried to quickly get it up court. Substitution for the U.S. as Jeff Turner is back on.
Well, see, that shouldn't be a substitution. That's a dead ball situation, and that was not the right time to blow that horn. International rule.
Well, Perkins
international rule.
That's why Bob Knight wants to know the USA had a fast break, and they have that 15-point lead. Eight and a half minutes in this game. Well, the substitutions were made, despite the fact they really should not have been made. Kick violation against Canada.
Triano just read the pass, and Alford just didn't give enough of a ball fake, and Triano sagged off the kick. Man-to-man defense by the Canadians. No traps yet.
Leon Wood, number 5. There's Alford. From his wing. Yes, sir.
That is a drill from practice. We did every situation in practice where you break down the offense. That is one of the drills where it's upstream from the weak side. You get Alford open in the corner.
63-46. Bob Lee and Digger Phelps. The USA versus Canada. There is Sims well off the mark. Pasquale shanks it down.
Not a long shot, long rebound.
Tisdale says that's mine, please.
And then you have him to this guy, who can really turn on the assist.
Plays with such talent and such a large grid. Mr. Jordan. The tap. Jordan can't get it. Last touch by Kazanowski to the U.S. ball. It's Jeff Turner. The substitution caused a mini furor with Bob Knight.
It's not out of bounds. You don't get it underneath, even though it went out of bounds underneath.
U.S. players, you'd have to be familiar with the rules. There is Tisdale, the international rules, but maybe some of the fans are becoming acclimated early in this tournament with it.
Well, I think the fans will enjoy the international rules. They make it a better game as far as how to play it their way, and the Americans have to adjust to the international rules. But they're yet rules that you can adjust to. Nothing really that I feel takes away from the game.
Jordan and Sims a little tete-a-tete in front of the U.S. bench, and Michael Jordan's called for his 4th foul. Chris Mullen comes on, and Jordan will sit down, and Big Bill Wennington comes back on for Canada. Greg Wilcher is out of the game for Jack Donahue.
Michael Jordan's out, and alongside him is George Raveling, head coach of University of Iowa, one of the assistants on the USA team.
Sims against Mullen. Triano is open. Alford, that one was a pinball flying around. He just grabbed it out of midair.
Well, when you take the long shots, you're not getting those offensive rebounds because your big people are underneath, and that's going to be a problem for the Canadians down the stretch.
USA leading it by 19 points in no definite hurry. With a match against Uruguay on the horizon in the 3rd outing of the preliminary round of the tournament. Wood, 5 on the shot clock. Alford with 3.
He's deadly from that corner. You can't let him get the ball there, and he just makes that a layup. by shooting that 20-foot jump shot.
It's becoming a clinic for the USA.
Well, now you got the time going against you. If you don't make a strategy move here, like I said, you get beat by 40, you get beat by 20. You're playing for medal, you're playing for position. And the Canadians cannot afford another loss, and this would be their second loss.
This is Tony Sims. Walking in on Mullen, and Mullen commits his first foul. Our referees from Czechoslovakia and from Italy, timeout is taken. Canada takes its first of the second half. USA, their prime interest right now through this first round of competition to win its group and thus draw the best possible seed for the quarterfinal. The top team in the U.S. group will play the number 4 team in the opposite group.
And what you're seeing right now is with this type of a timeout, the Canadians have got to make a move. This would be their second loss. And what they have to do is just get their confidence going that you either press now, go to a trap press, a full court zone press, a half court trap press, keep mixing the defenses to try to get back into it, whereas the U.S. is just going to keep coming at you with their bench, keep coming at you with their board strength, and yet obviously try to get the running game going. But as we have seen, Steve Alford, not a surprise, a great open shooter, especially against the zones.
6:46 to play, so Canada may have to do all those things. Whether they have enough time and folks on the bench to do it remains to be seen.
Well, here's a situation when you can press on a made foul shot, go full court, make something happen. We got Wennington back in the game, and this is where he can get some playing time. 3 to make 2, international basketball, another rule.
One final attempt for Sims.
Except if it's a common foul, it's an automatic 2 shots, not a 1-on-1.
He needed that bonus shot. Back to a 19-point U.S. lead.
And no press by the Canadians. Just sitting back, man to man, like saying, well, let's get it over with.
Well, the first loss for Canada in their first game was a tight one, 83-82 against the Spanish. This one, and if they're not pressing, you have to believe they're almost conceding. Even though there is a shot clock the USA will have to shoot, this one will not be nearly so close.
But what's amazing is they did extend their defenses when they played against Yugoslavia and Italy and Australia up in Canada in the preliminary rounds. And they're not doing that here, and I just don't understand that concept. When you do something with consistency and it works, come back at it. And their players are conditioned for it. I think they're ready for it, but obviously they're not showing it in this type of a game.
So that collision between Mullen and Sims. Sims is called for his 4th foul. Greg Wilcher is back on. Number 14 in red for the Canadian side. Jeff Turner, number 15 for the U.S. He sets a pick for Mullen, who shoots right over it.
It's automatic. He is a very, very good outside shooter, gets a quick release, and knows how to find himself to get open. It's been interesting watching the events going out here during the first week. Of course, opening day ceremonies had everybody buzzing the way that came off. And, of course, with track and field, swimming, volleyball is going to be exciting, as well as women's basketball.
Wennington puts it down.
And that's just in the first week.
Yeah, it's a spectacle that's captured the imagination of everyone in the country. And despite the boycott, you do not hear it mentioned all that often because now the games are underway.
Chris Mullen going to the basket, drawing the foul, 2-shot situation. What Coach Knight explained to Leon Wood right there is how he can become their quarterback in that situation, to handle the offense, to create on a reversal pass to make something happen on the weak side.
Mullen and Alford between them are probably the closest thing to automatic on the line that you're going to see in this Olympic tournament.
Very good foul shooter.
He's talking to somebody out there. A little grin on his face as he nails the second one.
Probably Wennington.
Yeah.
Wennington wants some points.
71-50.
It's amazing how even a Canadian team has developed that European style. You notice that's legal. That's not his goaltending. It's on top of the rim. As soon as it hits the iron, it can go. But
Wennington tipped it in, 71-52.
But when you take a look at Pasquale, who's from the Canadian team, they play like their European team, where they all have that one point guard that makes things go, and they all look stereotyped.
Ewing and a foul underneath. Pat was fouled by Wilcher.
Well, he got in early foul trouble in this game. Didn't get much playing time, and I think Patrick obviously can dominate anything that goes on. As we look at the bench with Robertson, Perkins, Jordan to his left, Joe Klein at the end of the bench.
Patrick played 13 minutes in the game against China and had 12 points in that game. U.S. lead back up, double deuce, 22. Number 4, Howard Kelsey on for Canada. This is Tillman, number 7, over Alford, and nails it.
But it's a streak shot, and you're going to live with that outside shot. That's not going to keep you going. I just think that, you know, you get 1 or 2 passes in that shot, you're going to live and die with it. If you make it, you're fine. If you miss it, there's no offensive rebound.
4.5 minutes now in this game. Game the U.S. owns as Mullen misses that, and a push-off foul against Jeff Turner. 4:21 to play, and the USA enjoying the 20-point advantage. Greg Wilcher on the free throw line. Canada trying to make some kind of a dent into that margin. Canada will drop to 0-2 with this loss. USA will win its second in as many outings, and Jack Donahue's team will be behind the 8 ball. Have to really suck it up down the last 3 first-round games to get a good seed, if any seed, for the next round of competition.
Well, I still have Uruguay, China, and of course, when you take a look at France, they've got a chance to win all 3 of those games, which would put them back into the competition to get in the right bracket.
Wood to Mullen. Turner keeps it alive as he made his move against Wilcher. He was hit.
Well, the key was the reversal pass. When Wood got that ball back to the point, he just really got it over to the weak side to Chris Mullen. Of course, right now, Turner keeps it alive. It's a ball fake. Wilcher fouls it. Wennington still doesn't look like he has his confidence yet from that injury he suffered in training.
A common foul, a non-shooting foul, and Raffin comes on for Canada. Wilcher takes the seat.
Well, to me, this is a sign of how aggressive are you playing in a half when with this much time left in the game, you still are not into a bonus situation with the other team defensively, which means to me you're not playing that aggressive on defense. Matter of fact, Mahar didn't even know the ball was inbounds.
Mullen tried to keep Ewing's miss alive and was pulled down by number 13, Romel Raffin, who's into the game. Turner is out for the U.S. Joe Klein, number 11, and White has reported on.
Good move.
Good lead for Kelsey. And a foul off the rebound. Ewing wants it explained because it's his 4th foul.
Well, Patrick went to help. Mahar makes a great pass inside. And then on the miss, pump fake.
Looked like he had position, Coach.
Well, you know, in the States, that's interesting because in the States, if you have that position established and the offensive player breaks your plane, it's a charging foul. But in international competition, any contact on the move to the basket, they're calling it a 3-for-2 foul.
Kelsey hits a pair.
Well, here comes the press, finally. A little late.
Down by 17 with 3.5 minutes in the game.
One way to beat it, huh?
Wood, Ewing, look out. Blocked by Wennington.
Leon just dribbles through everybody. Great pass inside. Back to Ewing, who goes up.
Ewing was fouled by Raffin. Wennington battling away the shot.
Well, it's not goaltending. He's just going to shoot the foul shots.
Ern Fleming and Alvin Robertson come on. Alford and Leon Wood will be coming out for the U.S. They check defensive assignments.
Replacing number 4, Steve Alford. And number 7, Ern Fleming. Replacing number 5, Leon Wood.
Wood leaves the game with 8 assists to this point. National champion Georgetown.
Yeah, he was something in the Final Four. Really, when it counted.
Hit up against Akeem Olajuwon of Houston in the final.
Georgetown just played very, very well, and that's a credit to John Thompson. And obviously, they're going to be back this year.
Patrick will frame all his comments and did in Seattle about fact, it was team against team. It was not a team against Patrick, even though everybody and his brother-in-law in the Kingdom that evening came to see Akeem play Patrick. 76-57. Tillman, number 7, against Vern Fleming. Kelsey, number 4 for Canada. Watched by Robertson. Tillman forcing this against the double team. Down to 13, 76-59 as we approach the 3-minute point of this game.
Joe Klein from Arkansas.
Formerly of Notre Dame. Ewing has it put back.
Here we go.
Immediately back into play by Rapid.
Nice play.
Tipped back and blocked by Ewing on the attempt by John Hatch.
Great play, though. And leads the fast break, throws it back. And Ewing just gets a piece of the ball. He just waits, and he's so strong.
Tillman. Another shot for Carl. Making the most of his playing time in this affair. 76-61, down to 15 points again. Collision between Leon Wood and Kelsey.
Well, when Leon gives the ball up, Kelsey's trying to step in and draw the charge, and they're making a contact foul, which again goes to the side out of bounds.
Next up for Coach Knight, it will be Uruguay. On paper, the U.S. should be favorites in all the remaining games. Vern Fleming to the hoop, and a foul.
Very strong move to the hole. Good position. Looking for help. There's no help. He just takes it up himself.
John Hatch called for the foul.
Well, the key is going to be when we take a look at the Friday night game against France and then to come back Saturday morning to play against Spain. Preparation time, rest could be a factor because Spain plays the quick game. They like to run, and should be an interesting matchup on Saturday.
Fleming completes that three-point play. Well, Klein's playing peacemaker immediately as Tillman and Ewing had a word or two.
Mark Klein just very strong from Slater, Missouri.
Tillman looks at that double team.
Still aggressive defense.
And Kelsey well off the mark. Fleming doing a tightrope walk in front of his own bench. Robertson. Fleming shot won't go. Ewing can't get it, but Fleming with the rebound.
He's around the ball. He knows where it is. And what's amazing about this team is with the lead, they're still playing that hard. And that's one thing I think will carry them over with a 20-point lead if they still play like it's the beginning of a ball game.
Tillman knocks it back down to 18. And that sort of attitude and that sort of training will be required, as you said, later in the week with that quick turnaround against the very tough Spanish side. That will be the final preliminary round game. May well determine who wins the group. Robertson.
One-on-one move inside by Robinson.
Under 90 seconds in the game. Tillman, become a playground game for the Canadians. I just put it up there if you can.
Crowd smells win number 2 for the USA on the road to the gold.
Well, the Soviet Union is not here. The Yugoslavian side, the Yugos are in the other group.
With the Italians, those are the 2 best teams in that bracket.
Plenty of international talent here. That's Hatch from the right wing. Fleming. Bottle up. Ewing gives him a hand. Robertson gets it back.
It's held on from behind. Tearaway jersey.
Kelsey called for a second foul. Only the 18th foul. And again, the USA not at the bonus. They may end this game not shooting any bonus free throws in the second half. So for Canada, a time to regroup at 0-2. They figure to be favorites against China. Then it's Uruguay and France. 4 teams from the group will advance to the quarterfinals.
Well, what they have to do is hope that some of the other teams start losing. And if they win their next 3, they can still have a shot. But to lose once more Should be an early departure for the Canadians.
Rebound by Patrick Ewing on Robertson, missed free throw.
Just went right over.
86-65. Hatch makes his move. He's fouled by Joe Klein.
Well, Joe went for the ball, and he's very strong, very physical. Had an excellent year at Arkansas. One of the backup people in the front line that can really help this team before the Olympics is over. Joe Klein from Slater, Missouri.
Jordan was yelling at Patrick Ewing on the bench, and Bob Knight consults Sam Newton.
Of course, a lot of bench people now for the Canadians are getting some playing time because they know they've got 3 games coming up. And this is where Jack Donahue has got to regroup and put his people in a position to play their game and still have a chance for a medal.
41 seconds to play.
U.S. very, very strong. I think the key is going to be finding the right combination, staying with it, and the substitution roles, which I think they're just getting a feel for as they get ready to play Uruguay and then France and Spain. And from that standpoint, I think defensively, we know it's going to be man-to-man, pressure all over, strong rebounding. Offensively, good shot selection. I think that's going to be the theme for the U.S. all the way through the Olympics.
Starting lineup really won't be the big issue. The big issue, as you said, who comes off the bench, where they come off the bench, and as coaches are fond of saying, who's in the game when the game is decided. That's the important lineup.
And I think that's the way to keep it simple, and I don't think they're trying to complicate their system. I think Coach Knight has a simple type of game plan where against the man-to-man, they'll run a motion offense. Against the zones, if it's a 2-3 zone,
Mayor Tom Bradley
of Los Angeles here today. When you take a look at that concept, the players will fit into this role now that they're not going against each other, but other competition, and that's very healthy.
87-66. So the USA will move to 2-0. And the defensive pressure just continues. Robertson all over Tillman. Tillman corrals the rebound and puts it right back in. 20 seconds and counting now. 19-point U.S. lead. Canada will drop to 0-2. And another showcase effort for the U.S. national basketball team as Ewing turns it up. The tap is in. Chris Mullen.
He read it well.
A 21-point victory over Canada. Jordan with a few words after the buzzer. 20 points for Michael Jordan, the game-high score. Steve Alford had 13.
Well, the Canadians' disappointment. Didn't come after the U.S. with the multiple defenses. Got in the rhythm. U.S. has dominated from the start.
2 wins for the U.S. For Digger Phelps, I'm Bob Lee.